seat. Come on, fly. He's a little tired, so it's hard for them to breathe when they're panting because they have to use their nose. And a lot of times they're just breathing, they're not sniffing. So we have to give him a second to calm down. But you'll see how he works, and you should see a behavior change if he gets into the odor. Come here. I'm gonna start him over here because there's actually a wind blowing this way now. Come here. All right. Relax. Relax. Stop eating grass. Most of my car later. He's got a bad stomach, so that you see a dog doing that, it settles their stomach. It's okay. You'll come around. Good boy. I brought him on the far side for a reason. Come on.
What's the command you're asking him to do?
It's a very, very poor. See that? Not bad. Look, there's drugs. Cool. Now that wasn't so animated because he's a little tired, and so he came back a little slow. Boy. So if we look now. So that's enough to get me in the car. Los.
Oh, that's where you're supposed to. Yeah, I got you there.
That's probable cause.
Probable cause.
Yeah, the dog's nose on a traffic stop is probable cause. So now what I'll do, seat, all right, seat, good boy, is I'll let him actually show me exactly where it is. The odor is drawing out this side of the car. That's why he went to that door crack. That's a productive area. He went to that door crack, back, come here, seat. And it's drawing out the side because of where it is. Come here, ready? He'll wander around because the odor's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I have to watch him. You see where he is? He's showing me it's under the seat right there. So you go and pull it right from where he was showing me it's under the seat. It's right there.
Hold that up. Yeah.
So loose. And that's it. That's really all there is to it. It's just a, what they call operant conditioning. That's pretty much it. He oh boy, ready? Go get it. But that's it. Once that odor is imprinted, it's in their brain, they're gonna find it. And that's it. Now that's a very easy one. I do that for the benefit of you guys and because he's tired and all that stuff. But it doesn't matter where it is in the car, it's going to seek out through some creek, crevice, whatever, and he's gonna get as close to it as he possibly can. And that's what he does, and that's exactly what it looks like. And look at that. I'm gonna paint myself again. I told you he'd take that rather than eat, didn't I? So, that's pretty much it, guys. You guys I think I've covered everything.
Wow.
As far as,
very cool.
what he can do. Like I said again, I thank you guys so much for your interest and your participation, and it means a lot to us that you guys are willing to do this kind of stuff. When you see us out there, we're all nice people. Say hi. Come talk to us. We don't bite. We do prefer that you do what we ask on traffic stops and stuff. I don't think that a lot of the perception is that officers are really they're rude on traffic stops and stuff like that. And the reason for it is that traffic stop, believe it or not, is the most dangerous thing we do because that's the one time where we have no idea what we're getting into. I don't know if you just murdered your whole family and they're in the trunk. And you're thinking he's got me, and I'm going, you got a taillight out, So, okay, cool. See, he's hot. He's like, I'm done. Usually the level of behavior that you'll get from the officer on a traffic stop is directly in relation to their experience and their comfort level. So, usually what you find, not always, but as a general rule, if you find someone who's really terse and who's really rigid as far as their interaction on a traffic stop, it's because they don't have a lot of experience. They're usually the newer officers because they're, I'm going up there and, when I go up there, I've been doing this for 13 years. So when I go up to a traffic stop, the stuff that comes out of my mouth is just, it's automatic. I'm looking in your car. I'm looking for stuff. I'm looking for contraband. I'm looking for clues to contraband. That officer who just pulled you over for the tag light, he literally is just trying to get to the traffic stop for the tag light and make sure that he doesn't get killed. Because he's like, where are hands? I hope I don't see it. Oh crap, what am I supposed to say? All this stuff is going through that guy's head. So, give him the benefit of the doubt. But that being said, nobody should treat you poorly. This is a professional agency. We've got great officers. We get very few complaints as far as their comportment and everything. So, But we entertain everything as supervisors and all that stuff. Yes, sir.
We have to do it right, or we can do it right around. Can we ride with you?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't want to anyway. I'm a supervisor. Really, it's boring. So for the most part, yes, sir.
One thing a long time ago, they did a thing for college students which showed them how to get, how to behave when getting arrested.
Yeah.
And also, what I read a long time ago myself.
Thank you for coming in, sir. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
What I read myself is it talked about if you're stopped as a traffic stop, do's and don'ts, what you're supposed to do. They should publish something like that.
Yeah, and and it's funny.
Turn on the interior lights. Put your hands on the dash. Don't be fumbling for your wallet or reaching the glove box.
Absolutely. Whatever you can do to put the officer at ease is what you should do. Because, like I said, it's the most dangerous thing we do. It is very nerve-wracking. I've been doing this for, like I said, 13 years, and my heart still jumps every time I pull a traffic stop. Every time. And the day that my heart doesn't jump when I pull a traffic stop is the day I'm gone. Because that's my radar. And when I get to your window and I see you and I go, you're a nice lady and you're dealing with me nicely and I don't see any guns or bombs or drugs or anything, then my heart rate's going to go down. I'm going to calm down. But I get up there, I have to be in that alert state of mind because I don't know. You may just come out like we had with Officer Freeman. Guy just got out of the car and started blasting at him. And we have to prepare for that. So when I'm walking up to your car, I'm preparing for you to come out and start shooting at me. And then when I get up there, I'm going to de-escalate. And as I get more experience and as I get more comfortable, I'm better at de-escalating quickly and just basically flipping the switch. I can flip the switch from being, Billy Badass to just being, Mr. Friendly,
So if we do those things and we happen to, go, speed like a mile over the speed limit, for example. If we do those, could that, and I'm using a hypothetical, so it could be more than a mile per hour. But could that translate potentially into a warning?
Absolutely. From my personal experience, I pull traffic stops because one, it's a necessary function of our job. People are always like, "Oh, you don't have anything better to do?" Well, okay. Well, we caught the Unabomber just messing with folks. Okay, so on a suspicious person, and you wouldn't believe, like every night we catch somebody with a warrant on a traffic stop. That's how we catch our bad guys up here. But we have there's a different way that we phrase it, but it's like the jerk test. You can talk yourself into a ticket very easily. It's very easy. What the hell's your problem, man? What'd you stop me for? I'm not doing nothing. All that kind of stuff. It's like, well, this guy's probably going to complain on me anyway, so I'm going to make him earn it. Whereas it's like, if you're like, oh, I'm sorry, officer, whatever. I'm inattentive. I'm a knucklehead. I'm, whatever excuse you have. I mean, it's nothing's. We're all humans. We're just doing what we do. I mean, a lot of times we're pulling traffic stops because somebody got killed at that intersection last week, and they told us we got to go out there and we've got to police that intersection. Because we've got to slow you people down because people are just bombing through it. I mean, you'd be surprised. Like the last one I did was what's the big subdivision off of Kimball Bridge? Not yeah, another one, Glen Abbey, right? So Glen Abbey, I'm going in there because people are doing 45 miles an hour in a subdivision and they're running stop signs in their own neighborhood. And you're pulling these people over and you're going, you live here. These are your neighbors. Their children are playing in front of the stop sign. Can you please think beyond the 2 seconds in front of you and have some consideration? But that's the problem is that we all get up into our own thing, and what we got going on is the most important thing in the world. So, it's our job to sit out there and go, hey, you have a duty to these other people out here to kind of behave rationally and normally on the road so that everybody can get where they need to go safely. So that's kind of the point of what we do. And then, that's how we get into trouble. That's how we find our stuff and all that kind of stuff. And it is fun. We go hunting and we do all that stuff. But it's what you want us to do. You pay me to be nosy. You pay me to know what's going on in your city and your neighborhood. You pay me to figure out why that guy's sitting in that parking lot at 3 o'clock in the morning, even though he's just hooking up with some girl or whatever. But that's what you pay me to do, because that guy may be plotting to rob the place the next day. Perfect example, I was going to Dunkin' Donuts on Old Mill Parkway one night, right? And
really?
I literally, right? Look, my drill sergeant said, eat what you can afford, okay? Look, I stay in shape. But no, I love the coffee, so I drink a ton of it. And I was going there to get coffee and talk sports with my buddy Jerry, who works there every night. He's a super nice guy. He's from New York. He seems a little gruff, but he's good. Anyway, I'm in that mode. I'm going to go get my coffee and talk to Jerry. I roll up, and in the back behind the Dunkin' Donuts, if you're familiar, there's a cul-de-sac there, and it's all blacked out. And you find people doing drugs back there all the time and stuff. I roll up in this car, and I'm like, somebody over there probably smoking weed. Let me go deal with it. You know, it's my job. I walk up there, and immediately, hair, everything stands up on the back of my neck. My car starts rocking like insane because Arnold is freaking out. And I know this is a bad guy. One guy's got gloves on his hand. There's rubber gloves turned inside out on the passenger floor on the side. There's a ski mask sitting on the seat. And I get the look like, you know, like, oh crap, he found us. They were getting ready to rob the Dunkin' Donuts, long story short. And I got them before they got there. And I was going up in that mode of, because I'm comfortable, I've been doing it a long time, I was going up in that mode of stupid teenagers smoking weed, I'm gonna have to deal with this. And then it's like, oh crap, and I've got to switch, and I had to go the other way. And quite honestly, the thing, like, what ended up happening, driver, 45 caliber handgun, stuffed under the front seat. The other guy, this is what was weird about it too, the passenger was in the back seat. And he was behind the driver, he had a gun shoved up under the back seat. So they were both armed, you know, and literally it was my officer presence, my ability to switch gears quickly, and the fact that dog was going bananas back there that probably stopped me from getting hurt. Those guys had to think about, like, oh crap, this dude looks like he means business, and that dog is going nuts. So they're thinking about other things. I threw them off their game plan. I was able to get my game plan, you know, going in enough time. The driver was a convicted felon, not even supposed to be in position. He'd already had previous. He still had charges pending for aggravated sodomy, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, and robbery in Fulton County, not just in other places. So I mean, their bad guys are out there. You know, it's few and far between, but that's kind of what.
So you had to vote those guys out by yourself?
I called for backup immediately. You know, basically what I did is I stepped back, my gun is out, and I got them putting their hands up on the ceiling of the car. And I said, look, I got a dog and I got a gun. You know, I like my odds.
So you couldn't arrest them for the Dunkin' thing. It was the other stuff. Right?
Yeah, criminal intent.
Yeah.
You know, but they're criminal attempts. But you know what we ended up putting together is once I start getting all my stuff together, right, and I get these guys in custody and I figure out what the situation is. Go in there. There's a Dunkin' Donuts apron in the back of the car. Oh, it's his girlfriend's car. His girlfriend works at Dunkin' Donuts. You know, so all of this kind of stuff. You know, and you start getting all that kind of stuff.
So in that situation, could you got your remote, you got your gun out, you could pop the door and the dog could come.
Oh yeah. He's out. He was out. No,
Okay.
that was one of those. That's the OS situation where you hit the button and go, come on, buddy. And so he gives them. Like somebody asked me if he's a distraction, and sometimes he is a distraction. He's a distraction for me when I'm doing my job, which is why we don't give dogs to rookies. But he's also a distraction for bad guys. And so when that dog is barking and going bananas and sitting next to me, it gives them something else to think about, so I can formulate a plan.
You don't really have to answer this if you don't want to. This national trend that we're seeing of legalizing marijuana, which I don't agree with, that's a different story. Has that changed and I'm not talking about trafficking, I'm talking about personal use.
Yep.
Has that changed your arrest patterns at all?
No, not for us. We're still doing our job. We're still making those cases. It may very well, like if the voters vote marijuana to be legal, I mean, that's going to be the day that I'm going to have to retire my dog, because he alerts to marijuana, and if possession is legal, then I can't work him anymore. It will have repercussions. We're dealing with that. Our guys are going to a conference in July. It's a national K9 training conference. I don't get to go. It's my wife's birthday, and she's pregnant, so I'm not going anywhere. But
smart man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I miss out on all the fun, and it's in Nashville too. Come on, it's a cool place. Yeah. But so that's going to be one of the things that's discussed, is how that's actually affecting policing trends. Because Colorado right now is the only place where I have friends who are police officers in Colorado, and they have gotten guidance that they have to stop using their dog for narcotic searches on vehicles right now because of the pending case law out there. So it will change if it comes this way. Now Georgia has had a tendency to stay the other way. I mean, they've been pretty rigid, and whatever your personal politics are, as far as like in policing, the only way to do your job is to do your job, and it's to follow the law and to enforce the law as it's written. I don't make the laws. I just do what I'm supposed to do, and I follow that urge. Now, certainly some people have preferences and things that they focus on or whatever, but my job is that if I observe an offense, that I have to address it. It doesn't mean I necessarily have to take people to jail. There are many times with teenagers and stuff like that their parents can do a lot more to them than I can. And so I'll defer to them sometimes and call them, and sometimes that's called our discretion. But yeah, that's something that could change. Absolutely. It just depends. But we do, and we are trained, and we are training our officers to follow the law. And that's how we try to police. And you guys are really fortunate. If you live up in North Fulton, you have professional agencies, professional police departments with professional training, hire quality people. We still have knuckleheads like everywhere, and people who make mistakes and stuff. But as a whole, the quality of services you're getting up here is exponentially better than you're going to get in DeKalb County or the city of Atlanta and stuff like that. So, Officer Johnson's position doesn't even really exist in Atlanta, and if it is, nobody's listening to it anyway. So which is it's a benefit to being up here and to being able to do something.
Probably the outbreak can be a little bit more selective since so many.
Absolutely.
People wanna work here,
I wish we were more
yeah.
selective sometimes, but yeah, we can be. We can be. So, and that's the benefit. And then not only that, but we're better able to hold people accountable and deal with the issues that we do have as they come up.
So if you do come across a bad officer, let's say he's repeatedly getting.
I am dealing with one right now.
Has a little bit more like, okay, you're gone.
I am dealing with one right now
It's
that
immediate accountability
Yeah.
in the city of Alfred. No ifs and buts about it. Whereas in Atlanta, where we came from, there is accountability, but when you talk about the volume of issues
Yep.
day to day, whereas here, the accountability is second to none. And one of the things I love about being here is, for example, this class. This is not offered in the city.
yeah.
And
You
then
wouldn't
to-
get officers to volunteer
and
for it
to-
either.
and to be able to
Like,
get
where's
a-
the trap?
And to get a supervisor in K9 to come energetic, enthusiastic, and really want to share with the community, that's a whole nother ball game. That would be a whole nother ball game for me in itself. That's a
Where's my pay?
that's a rough that's a rough gig.
Yeah,
But
well, your level of problems are different. You got to think about
Exactly.
down there,
Yeah.
like they're literally worried about getting enough people to answer calls for the
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
They can't address whether somebody's worth a crap or not. It's just like, I just need a body to go there. I don't care what you do when you get there. So we have a much higher standard and a much higher level of accountability.
So last question for me, don't we get to see a taser shoot?
I won't actually,
we have a demonstrator.
I won't actually shoot it, but this is the these are where the darts come from. Yeah, these are where the darts come from. It's 50,000 volts, but it's very low amperage. So the amperage is what will kill you if there are any electricians in here. So this is activated by the electricity in this, and you can see it's going to be hard to see because it's daylight, but it'll arc between these two metal pieces here, and that's all it is. It's basically you're completing an electrical connection. This shoots out two darts. They come at a slight angle depending on how different you are. So you get one here, you get one there, whatever, depending on your area of impact. The farther apart the spread, the more effective it is. So because you get a longer circuit connected, so there's more electricity running between those points. So it's neuromuscular incapacitation. It just locks you up. It does not feel good.
How long does it last?
5 seconds. Each ride is 5 seconds. So I'll turn it on here and I'll just let you know what it sounds like. Count. It's 5 seconds. It
Hurts just hearing
when
it.
when you are getting shocked, and I have been shocked.
Yeah.
It feels like about a minute and a half, but when it's off, and it's over. And
So, how long will it put the person down?
well, as long as it's on is how long it's
Okay.
effective.
Hey.
Now, most smart people will go, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
But there are some, and if you don't get a good connection, you have to complete the circuit. If you don't get a good connection, if you don't follow up with contact or something, then you will it won't be effective.
There's a YouTube of Kick-Ass Mall Cop. Have you seen this guy downtown? So Kick-Ass Mall Cop, he
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in.
I appreciate it.
Thank
he
you.
pulls the taser on this lady and she just stiffens up and
Yep.
just falls straight back.
Yep, and that's exactly what happened to me. I looked like a dolphin. I went.
And a side note to that, one of the great things about Department of Public Safety in Alfred, that taser, every time it's deployed, every time
thank you
it's
so much.
turned
Thanks for coming
on,
out.
that it has a recording device inside of that taser. So our department, they immediately, when they do it,
Is he still there?
investigations, they immediately know how many times you deployed it
Kennel.
and how many times you pulled
Does he
the
honk the
trigger.
horn
So
if he waits
Oh,
too
that-
long?
We will.
oh yeah.
So is it true?
Sure.
If you are in any of our pictures, should we not have that like on social media? Like should we
We
protect?
can't put any of it out there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the rules are of the academy. I don't know what they've come out with. I'm a public figure, so I can't control what you do with me.
But
you know,
what's your preference? You would
right?
prefer
No, I
not
don't have a problem with it. I'm just a K9 officer. Probably not put my name out there, you know, but
No, no,
just because you know I'm hiding from people all the time.
Yeah.
But no, but you know, no.
no.
Just checking on
Cheater,
you.
yeah. He's like,
Status
"What's going on?
check.
Are they bothering you?
One of us is not so
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But if I could ask one favor, and this is something I always try to do when we do these demos, we talked about traffic stops. If you could talk to your neighbors and your friends and explain to them that whenever you see an officer, the initial point of the traffic stop, he or she has to de-escalate first, and the situation dictates that. So if they're going about their approach in a certain way, let them do that, because each officer, their comfort zone, how they de-escalate is different. You know, we have an advantage, I will admit. We struggle with making sure we're not complacent about it. And I know I can say this about Lieutenant myself. We always, after a traffic stop, we all just go back over. Did we do everything? It has to be, everything has to be almost identical every single time. That's how we make sure we're not being complacent.
Rob made a great point earlier about like the 3 or 4 things to do to de-escalate. We have these packed distro emails. Could the officers just not shoot off an email and we can distribute to our neighbors that way?
This is what you have to understand from the traffic officer point of view. It's great that if it's nighttime, you let your windows down, you turn on your dome light, and put your hands on the steering wheel. That's great, and that's highly appreciated. But a seasoned, trained officer, I'm telling you now, it won't make a difference. We have to go through our routine, and it's not going to change our tone. It's once we've established what is professional, you know, because we learned a long time in the city of Atlanta, your mouth can escalate or de-escalate a situation. So we have a comfort zone, and so we stay right there. And
Yeah, because somebody could do those things as a way to throw you off guard too.
we don't.
Turn a light on, all that. Put your hands on the wheel. Meanwhile, he's got a guy in the back.
We don't
seat,
waver.
so,
I can guarantee you, any officer that's been in this for a long time, we don't waver, whether it's an 80-year-old person driving or a person, young student just turned 16 and got the driver's license. The situation has to dictate when we de-escalate. So it may seem offensive, it may, you know, but the one thing I'll throw out, and I do it all the time, every officer, we're human, we have our pet peeves. Okay, my pet peeve, and I'll be honest with you, what did you pull me over for, without giving me an opportunity to professionally tell you, because within the 5 seconds I'm there, you'll know. I have a cycle line, I just say it automatically why I pulled you over.
Yeah, man, you're gonna set the officer. You're gonna change his course. You know, you got 2
Yeah.
tracks we can take this thing down, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, if I'm coming up, I'm gonna tell you why I stopped you.
Exactly.
I'm not just gonna pull you over and stare at you. You know, I'm gonna tell you why I stopped you. So we expect that you'll listen, and then you can give whatever response you want, but we want you to hear what we have to say first. You can tell me I'm wrong or an idiot or whatever. No, not wise, but you know. But we're definitely gonna go down a different route depending on what your response is to how it is. But you know, like Officer Johnson was saying, you know, we have a spiel that we go through, and it basically, you know, my whole thing, all the words that come out of my mouth are just meaningless. I mean, I'm going to tell you exactly what I need to tell you. It's a professional speech that I give every time I stop the car, so that I can free my other senses up to take in what is going on, and that's what I do. And so, you know, like I said, the young officers, they're still working on their speech. You know, these guys don't think before they talk, and so they're just up there trying to get the words out, because, you know, it is really odd for a human being to go up to a stranger and tell them what's going on, tell you what to do. This is the way it is. It's not a natural thing to do, and most people don't like it. And believe it or not, most officers are not confrontational people. It's a you know, a facade that you have to put on to do the job. And so, you know, you have a different temperament. And any of you get to know officers personally, you can usually see they got 2 sides to them, you know, or something like that. But yeah, cool stuff.
One thing I noticed during my ride along is the partnership between you guys is really awesome. The backup and assistance
It
to
has
each
to
other.
be. Yeah, it has to be, because, you know, it at some point it comes down to us. Like, you know, you can even have, I mean, there are people that you, like, you know, I'm a supervisor. I'm not really friends with anybody that I work with, but I'm friendly with all of them, and I care about all of them. I don't hang out with them in my off time, because I ultimately have to assess their performance and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, I care about these people and they care about me, and so we take care of each other. I mean, that's what we do. And if you get a situation where somebody doesn't, like, if they come to a shift and they disrupt that, it's very, very problematic for the shift, because officers don't trust that person, and then they're on their guard, and you don't trust that person. It's so that's why we value that bond so much. That's why a lot of us get into it. A lot of us came from the military, and we got that kind of camaraderie when we were in the military, and so we look for that when we get out.
There's no high and by. It's like, I know I'll see you in another
Yep.
stop here shortly. So.
I guess you want to get one, because otherwise it'd be sort of like, he's a supervisor. I don't like. He's on his own today.
No, I mean, just
Well,
seeing
I mean,
how the interaction
there's
is.
cases where that kind of stuff happens. I mean.